So I took a short road trip. It wasn't as big as what I had anticipated, but I did get out on the road, put a bunch of miles on, and let's roll the intro, then I'll tell you about it. So welcome to Bob's Garage. If this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. And we just post weekly videos here from the Charlotte, North Carolina region where it's hotter than balls. But anyway, each week we have videos dedicated to the Harley-Davidson lifestyle, if you will. And I know there's a gazillion channels out there. I appreciate you taking 5-10 minutes to spend with me. I appreciate you coming along for the ride. It's a lot of fun, and we try to cover upgrades on our machines. I've got the Road Glide ST. My wife has a Lowrider S, and I took a little bit. I was going to take, excuse me, I was going to take some time and just hop on the bike and go thousands of miles, wherever I ended up, and the concept sounded great. Like I said last time, I got inspired by Full Throttle Hog. He's off riding around. He's been everywhere. He went to Milwaukee. He's in Sturgis. He's in Northern California. He's taking the Pacific Coast Highway home. Good for him. That's awesome. So I set out last week. You'll see I've got some footage I'll include. But I set out last week with the intent to be gone for like 3 or 4 days. And I didn't know where I was going to go. I thought I was going to head west, which I did. I took Route 40, which when you go west on 40, I know it's an interstate, but when you get out west, western North Carolina into Tennessee, that road is awesome. So if you get a chance to do it. I'll tell you a little more coming up, but I went that way. I went up to Knoxville, Tennessee. I've been wanting to see the Smoky Mountain HarleyDavidson dealership in Maryville, Tennessee. They also own the small outpost, I guess you'd call it, at the Charahalla Skyway. We had stopped there on our trip to Helen, Georgia, and behind the counter they got this big, huge aerial photograph of this incredible looking Harley dealership, and the woman told me that it was Smoky Mountain, the location in Maryville, and they had an outdoor concert venue, and so I wanted to see it. So I rode out that way. Here's the problem with road trips for me. I'm not a camper. I'm not going to sleep in a sleeping bag on the ground. I want to sleep in a hotel. Well, the way I see it, you have a couple of choices when it comes to a hotel. You can stay in a decent part of town in a nice, clean, nice hotel, but you're going to pay through the nose. Or you can save some money and stay in a hotel or motel in a sketchy part of town. Those are the only two options I could see. I stayed in a hotel it was in Knoxville, and reasonably priced, but it was cleanish. It was a little sketchy. That was all. And then when I went online to look for a nicer hotel, they were all so much money. I thought, this is really stupid, because I was going to find a hotel and use that as like home base and just ride from there each day to all these really cool locations. I thought, well, I live in this awesome area. Why not just make home my home base and just go on day rides? So that was what I ended up doing. I spent the night in Knoxville in that hotel, and I won't tell you the name of it, but whatever. And I got up the next morning, and I did go to the dealership, Smoky Mountain. What a great place. It's probably the second nicest Harley dealership I've been to, the first being in Crystal River and Homosassa, I think it is, that area. It was Crystal Harley-Davidson. That place is unbelievable. This place was a real close second. From the outside, it just looks like a Harley store. But then when you go inside, it's just, first of all, the amount of inventory they had, new and used both, was amazing. Clothing, footwear, you name it, they had it. It was great. Very well decorated. And then outside, of course, when you're facing the dealership and looking to the right, you see this big gate that's got the lighted Harley logo on it. That gate opens up, leads back to their service department. They also have their Rider Academy classes back there. And then you've got a venue called The Shed. It's a barbecue joint, and they have concerts there on the weekends. And this really is a destination. There's not a lot around it. I mean, it's next to a Tractor Supply, which I love Tractor Supply. If you haven't been to one, go one. But cool store. But there's not a ton around. I mean, you can go up the road. There's a couple of fast food places and a gas station and stuff. But I didn't really go beyond it to see what was down that way. But it definitely is a destination dealership. It's a dealership that the people were extremely friendly. Like I said, it just, the way it is set up, and again, I'll include some snippets with this, and you'll see that it was really a really cool place. And I don't know how they have so much inventory, new and used both, but they've got some beautiful bikes and clothing that I haven't seen at any other Harley dealership. Footwear, I haven't seen a huge selection of footwear. And what I liked is that the footwear was right out. You could grab a box, try it on if you wanted to without having to have someone come help you. It was just kind of a neat place. It really was. I enjoyed going out there. And then I came back home. The ride home really was awesome. It was probably one of the best parts of the trip. Like I said, I took 40. Now, on the way out, my Google Maps took me from 40. It had me get off for a little while to avoid a traffic accident. And then it got me back onto 40 miles later, which I didn't think anything of it until I was on my way home, and it kept me on 40. So in Tennessee, I'm on this interstate. The fastest speed was 55 miles an hour. And that's because it's very windy. There's some really nice sweepers, you know, and for an interstate, it was really cool. But it was awesome going down this road, and I've got these sweepers, and it's a highway, but I'm in this valley, and you can just see there's mountains around. To my left, I've got this huge mountain. It's like right there with this stone facing. It was gorgeous. And then on the other side of the road, on the right side of the road, you've got this another mountain that's like this lush green, and you're riding on this road that's twisting through this valley between these two mountains. It was absolutely gorgeous. Just a beautiful ride. If you get a chance to get out that way, just do it. It was beautiful. And then I kept going on 40 and came to the North Carolina state line, crossing to North Carolina, and I wasn't on that road for 20 minutes, I guess, and I see a sign that said tunnel ahead. I've never ridden my motorcycle through a tunnel before. I've never ridden in a car through a tunnel before. I never really had the opportunity, whatever. So, so I'm going, I'm like, oh, this ought to be kind of cool, it'll sound cool, I get the pipes going, and, It was a little claustrophobic, I gotta tell you, man. First of all, the problem with the tunnel, and there ended up being two, they were probably 3/4 of a mile, maybe a mile long each one. But when you're going through, it was a turn, so you don't see daylight. You just, it was a little claustrophobic. It really was. It was cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was kind of neat. The bike did sound good, but I'm doing 80 miles an hour through this tunnel, and it's around this bend, and I can't see what's on the other side. It was a little bit scary, but anyway, it was a great time. And then again, popped out of the second tunnel, back onto these nice sweepers, and man, I tell you, it was a really beautiful road. And then what I did was I kept going down 40, and I was just before you get to Asheville. I think it said North Asheville, and the sign on the road said this exit Blue Ridge Parkway. I thought, oh cool, I'll get off, I'll ride on the Blue Ridge Parkway for a little while, because I love doing that. And I hadn't been on that section of the parkway ever, so I thought I'll do that. So I get off the exit, and I follow the instructions, and I get on the parkway. And again, it was beautiful. I mean, the speed limit was only, for most of it was 35, then it went to 45. And again, these sweeping turns, and the lush trees all around you, and then this view that was just breathtaking. So that was a lot of fun. And I thought, well, I'm going to stay on this parkway for however long. I'm just going to stay. It sounds great, So I'm going along, and then I see a sign, and it said, next left, Elk Mountain Scenic Highway. I'm like, Elk Mountain Scenic Highway. I've never heard of that before. It sounds scenic. It sounds pretty. What the heck? I might as well check it out. So I go up the road, and I come to the next left, and I come up to the stop sign, and I stop, and there's no one around. I mean, there was no traffic. So I'm stopped at the stop sign. I look at the right. There's nobody coming. Look at the left. There's nobody coming. So I proceed to go out. And as soon as I get out on the road, I go down, and then there's this like hairpin turn that turns right back. Like, wow, that was interesting. I mean, this road was nothing but hairpin, switchback, twisties. I don't know how this isn't a famous road like a Tail of the Dragon or one of those. This thing was just awesome. I mean, it was, and again, no traffic. I encountered 2 bicycles Not even cars, not even motorcycles, just bicycles. A husband and a wife, I'm assuming, on bicycles. That's all I encountered on this entire road, and just sharp switchbacks, and then you get to the top, and it's like you're on top of the world. The view was spectacular, and then you're going back down the other side. I mean, it was really, really worth doing. I'm really glad I did that. And again, I keep saying, if you get a chance, if you're out near the Asheville area, to hop on the Blue Ridge and look for the Elk Mountain Scenic Highway. It is really, really worth riding. It was a lot of fun. Not for the novice rider. I mean, I've ridden a lot of, trust me, I've been riding over 20 years. I've ridden switchbacks up to Saluda. This was the most technical road I've ever ridden on. Bar none, not even close. This was really, I think one of the things that made it especially difficult was not only do you have these switchbacks, but you're going up a mountain, and there's no shoulders on the road. There's no guardrails, and the drop-offs were like, if you go down, you're going down a long way, and no one's going to know you're there because there was no traffic. No one would even know. I mean, it was a little bit scary. I mean, I'll admit, my heart was pumping a little bit, but man, it was beautiful. It was fun, and I can't wait to go do it again. So, anyway, that was a lot of fun. Then I followed that to the end, got back on the Blue Ridge for a little bit, then hopped back on 40 and cruised on back home. And the weather was fine. I did encounter a touch of rain just when I got close to home here, just 5 miles up the road, of course, but not enough to need rain gear, just a couple of sprinkles, nothing major. But yeah, that whole western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee region, it's really beautiful. It's very desolate. I didn't let my gas gauge get below half a tank. I didn't want to take a chance because I was out in the middle of nowhere where there was no one. I didn't want to run out of gas. So I just kept filling up whenever I could, just in case. You never know. And I'm glad I did, because there were a couple of places. I remember riding on this one road, and I was just, I don't know what the road was. I was just going down, and I'm doing like 75, and I'm thinking, if I were to break down on this road, I haven't seen a car in over half an hour. I haven't seen a house in over half an hour. I haven't seen anything. There's just nothing here. There's no cows. There's nothing. I mean, if you break down out there, just keep that in mind when you're traveling. And, with a lot of cross-country trips or trips you take, you encounter that. Make sure you got a lot of gas. Make sure you got some water to stay hydrated. Make sure someone knows where you are. My wife was stalking me on our phone app, so she knew where I was. But, it's a lot of fun. You see a lot of beautiful things, but you don't want to break down out that way. And I had all my safety gear with me. As I mentioned last week, I packed, my tire change kit, air compressor, jump box, first aid kit. I had all that stuff packed. I used the tour pack on the trip, and which, I have a love-hate relationship with the tour pack. It was cool. It's Advan Black, and it was given to me as a gift. I like it. It comes in handy. It's fugly. I mean, it really looks. It makes my bike an old man bike, in my opinion. That's just me. I know a lot of people love them, but it really did come in handy as far as carting all my stuff around. So, yeah, I love it and I hate it both. So anyway. But anyway, hey, look, that's all I've got. I will include the footage below here, so don't go anywhere yet. There's footage coming up, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Well, we headed off on our adventure here, and I told you guys I was going to take a short road trip, and not sure how long it's going to be. I'm just going to head out. It's a little bit overcast, but it's not too shabby. And I'm just probably going to head out toward the Knoxville, Tennessee area, see what's going on out that way. I've never been there, and I know they've got a really good dealership that's near there that I want to check out. So just wanted to check in, and I'm going to edit some stuff together and get this out, guys. And if I see anything cool along the way, I'll stop and record it for you. But yeah, it's going to be an overcast day. The sun's not going to be beating down, so the temperature will be nice, and it should be a nice ride. Should take probably about 4 hours to get out that way. Once I get there to the dealership, I'll hook back up with you guys. So thanks for coming along for the ride. See you shortly. Well, as you can see, I made it to Smoky Mountain, Harley-Davidson, and we're just going to take a little walk here before we go inside, just see what's going on down here. Their service department's open. You can see the shed here. This is where they hold all their events, concerts. Every Saturday night there's a band playing here. They'll have vendors and stuff out here. Their service department in the back. They have a riding academy class going on as we speak. But yeah, this is a pretty cool place. Even their gate has these LED lights with the logo. It's open right now, you can't really tell, but it's a pretty cool place. I haven't been inside yet. I just pulled in, so it was a really nice ride. Some of the scenery that I saw was really nice. I'd like to have shown you guys, but there was really not a lot of places to pull over. I was on highway for a lot of the route, and there was no place to really pull over and stop to show you. I mean, I went over some nice bridges with some rivers, and the scenery was really nice, but just wasn't able to pull over, so had to keep on moving. And this place will be hopping here later on tonight with the band and everything going on. I think they've got a band tonight. One of the guys out front was telling me that they may have canceled that. I don't know. I'm trying to find out what's going on. Hopefully they didn't cancel it. I rode all the way out this way. I'd like to see an event, but if they cancel it, they did. I'll just head somewhere else and see what else is going on. But so far, that's what's happening. Once I get over to the dealership and get inside, if there's anything cool inside, I'll let you know. Thanks for coming along for the ride. See you soon. Yeah, check this out, man. Talk about inventory. They got bikes. Place just open. A lot of bikes, a lot of parts, a lot of apparel, a lot to see. Not sure what they do in here, but this is cool. It's like somebody's office or something, but it's a pretty cool room. This place is huge. Great selection of footwear, rain gear, leathers, you name it, man. This is a pretty cool place, man. Another one of those cool little rooms. Look at this beauty. It's kind of cool seeing something like that on display. Little Servy car, nice chopper. A lot of good stuff to see here, man. I'm gonna be here a while. There's a lot to see. There's just so much to see here. Alright, I'm gonna go check out their clearance rack. And the trip continues. I think the best part of this ride was just the leg that I just completed. I left out the dealership that you guys just saw the footage of, and hopped on some of their little local roads, and then ended up getting on 40 heading east. Now, Highway 40 East, it sounds like, I mean, it's an interstate, and it sounds like I'm dealing with highway. I gotta tell you, there's some nice sweeping turns. The speed limit is only 55 through a lot of it. So, you know, there's a lot of turns, a lot of sweepers. It was really a nice ride, and the views were spectacular. The one part in Tennessee that I really liked, you're in this valley, and you're cruising along in this valley. Again, speed limit is 55, traffic was moving nice, not a lot of traffic. But on one side of it, you've got this big, huge mountain with this big stone face that's just like right there. And on the right side, you got another mountain that's just this big, lush green mountain. And you're right between the two, and it's this twisty, turny road all the way down through. And that was great. I took that all the way into to the North Carolina state line. And if that wasn't enough, once I get into North Carolina, cruising along, and then I see a sign, tunnel ahead. Well, I've never ridden my Harley through a tunnel before, so it was kind of cool. A little claustrophobic, but it was nice. I rode through that, and there ended up being 2 tunnels that I went through, which it was kind of cool. Like I said, a little claustrophobic, but it was still a fun ride. And then got back on 40, cruising along, and I saw a sign once I got into North Asheville. It said Blue Ridge Parkway. I thought, well, yeah, I can't pass up the Parkway. So I hopped on the Blue Ridge Parkway and riding on that for a while. It was beautiful, not a lot of traffic, just, you know, leisurely cruising along. And then I saw a sign for the Elk Mountain Scenic Highway. Had never heard of that before. Thought, what the heck, might as well give it a try. And if you get an opportunity, please do. It was unbelievable. I'm like, what the heck? Why is this road not popular? It was nothing but twists and turns and switchbacks, and the road was in excellent shape. The only traffic I encountered were 2 people on bicycles. That was it. It was just this beautiful, gorgeous road. I mean, the road was in great condition. The twists and turns were one after another. It was beautiful. So I enjoyed that. Got back on 40, and I'm heading back toward home, and we'll do some more riding, and we'll check in with you later.